Episode 5. And so it begins. The decisive battle for Madrid will be fought outside the city in an attempt by the French garrison to break the siege and prevent the Spaniards from receiving reinforcements. General Blake, the Spanish commander, decides to take position on a hill located southwest of the battlefield, awaiting the inevitable waves of the well-trained French infantry. Facing him, the French corps is commanded by General Massena, the so-called King of Spain, Joseph Bonaparte, king only by the will of his renowned brother, has left the city seeking safety in Barcelona, still held by French troops. Blake places his cavalry in front of the battle line, taking shelter from the incoming French cannonballs behind a well-positioned ridge. These units are supported by a hidden infantry force behind them. Spanish line infantry take position to cover the batteries placed on the top of the hill. They are confident they will crush the French last hope of victory. A horse-drawn 6-pounder gun is placed on the edge of the hill to cover the left flank of the Spanish disposition. As the French advance, heavy 12-pounder Spanish guns enter the action, bombarding the smaller enemy cannons that try to reach a firing position. A tough artillery duel ensues, turning to the advantage of the Spaniards. But a bold French cavalry charge surprises the advanced Spanish cavalry, which barely has time to countercharge. The attack of the French horsemen is not well supported by their infantry, however, and the Spanish line is close enough to react swiftly. 2 units of line infantry run toward their attacked cavalry, form squares. This breaks the French charge, but does not save the cavalry. The light cavalry held in reserve by the Spanish commander begins an enveloping move from the left, now deserted flank. Concentrating their offensive on the right, the French failed to notice the Spanish light horsemen riding behind their lines. The first wave of French infantry reaches the Spanish battle line. The Spanish, unwilling to commit their line infantry too early, let the light infantry and the militia absorb the first assault. Spanish artillery concentrates its fire on the advancing enemy army in the bottleneck of the hollow in front of them. Seeing an opportunity to capture undefended French cannons, the Spanish light cavalry, having executed a bold maneuver behind the French lines, decides to launch a long charge across the battlefield. But the French react, ordering a countercharge with what remains of their cavalry. The Spanish cavalry retreats, while Spanish guns bombard the countercharging French horsemen. Spanish cavalry is everywhere on the battlefield. The units that countercharge are soon caught in a fight where they are outnumbered 3-1. Meanwhile, 2 other units wreak chaos among the French guns trying to reposition. The seasoned French veterans leading the assault to the second wave managed to repel the attempt to surround them, holding their ground at the foot of the hill. They secure a position for the other French units. The Spanish line is now under pressure from the better trained French infantry. Even if that pressure comes at a high cost, they suffer heavy casualties. The Spanish center is about to break. But the returning victorious Spanish cavalry makes a decisive charge on the right flank of the French assault line. Soon the brave Frenchmen are exhausted and begin to be surrounded by fresh Spanish troops. They drop their rifles and flee the battlefield. Hurrah! The French are defeated, though not completely beaten. Messina has escaped with a significant part of his army and is now fortified in the city. General Blake orders the troops stationed on the west side of the city to reinforce his battered army. Now he has enough troops for the final assault. A surrender is demanded. Murdered is the answer. The well-positioned 12-pounders begin bombarding the entrenched enemy troops. Soon the French first line is overwhelmed by Spanish forces.
Nos hommes battent en retraite, monsieur.
For the final stand, Messina holds his position in the middle of his veterans who have formed squares. Francisco de Anquia, a Spanish rebel commander, attempt to charge and shoot the French marshal himself. The attempt fails badly, and the Spaniard barely escapes being shot. About to be captured, Messina manages to flee the battlefield, riding to announce to the French occupiers the fall of Madrid. This time Blake has conquered. He has returned Madrid to King Ferdinand, the rightful king of the Spanish throne. Will that be enough to cleanse the peninsula of French presence? Or will the French manage to stop the seemingly unstoppable Spanish steamroller? That will be in the next episode.